Imagine a high-performance sports car packing a massive secondary reserve tank in the trunk, sputtering to a dead stop on the highway because the tiny primary tank ran dry. This is the physiological reality for the average person. We carry tens of thousands of calories in stored fat, yet we hit a wall of exhaustion by mid-afternoon. That exhaustion occurs because our internal engine is restricted. We possess massive potential energy, but we are restricted to a single, inefficient operating mode. This diagram illustrates glucose dependence. Constant snacking hijacks our signaling. We rely on a rapidly depleting sugar supply, demanding constant refills, while our massive energy vault remains inaccessible. Consequently, fat utilization pathways degrade through disuse. Cells flash warning lights when blood sugar dips. We can manually override this broken cellular machinery. We possess the specific biological tools required to open those pathways and release that dormant energy. Escaping the daily energy crash does not require consuming more calories. It requires upgrading the body to a state of metabolic flexibility. Willpower alone cannot mobilize fat reserves. As the schematic shows, there is a mechanical gap between our dietary timing, the clock, and our cellular signaling. We must repair this connection to change how the body functions. The first lever in this protocol is strategic fasting. By intentionally withholding easy fuel, we drain the glucose tank and create an energy vacuum. When glucose levels drop, the body enters a survival state. Cells send out emergency signals, searching for alternative fuel to sustain the system. We compound this effect with macronutrient cycling. By alternating between carbohydrates and fats, we prevent the metabolism from adapting to a single, predictable fuel source. Combining the energy vacuum of fasting with the unpredictability of macrocycling delivers a specific set of instructions. It applies biological pressure on the cell, forcing it to change its behavior to survive. This pressure breaks the cycle of glucose dependence. It shifts the metabolic load without crashing the central nervous system or causing the irritability of a standard diet. Fasting and macrocycling act as external code inputs. They bypass traditional calorie counting to force a mandatory biological reconfiguration. To see this reconfiguration take physical form, we must zoom inside the body and look directly at the microscopic machinery reacting to these new inputs. Deep inside the cell, we find the mitochondria. These are the spark plugs of your metabolic engine. Faced with a glucose vacuum, these organelles must adapt or fail. Without glucose, mitochondria alter their internal structure. They expand their inner folds, building complex pathways for a denser fuel, stored body fat. This enables efficient lipid oxidation. Fat molecules are drawn into the new architecture, converted into continuous energy pulses. Withholding sugar does not starve the cell. Instead, it provides the specific stress required to force your mitochondria to rebuild themselves into superior fat-burning furnaces. When millions of cells undergo this structural rebuild, the adaptation scales up to reclaim your metabolic machinery. The result is a dual-fuel engine. This diagram shows the body's ability to transition between immediate glucose and deep fat reserves based on availability, while energy output remains stable. In daily life, brain fog vanishes. Midday crashes disappear. The nagging hunger for snacks subsides because the brain has access to thousands of stored calories at any moment. You are no longer a fragile organism dependent on the timeline of your next meal. Mastering dietary timing and macronutrient cycling rewires your biological machinery. You gain access to sustained energy for life, turning the body into a highly optimized dual-fuel machine.